Hello everybody, welcome back to more Mass Effect! Alright. Let's go ahead and examine some of these things that are around here. And explore the Normandy, and I've already leveled up. Wow. Well then. Alright, don't have teammates. Sweet. They're not gonna bother me. Anyways, here we have the control room thing, majig, place. FTL comlink, let's go ahead and examine that. Gives us a nice 20 experience and some codex thing that I'm probably never gonna look at. Yeah. Open the door. Door, open, thank you. And head down into the mess hall. Yay! And here we can say hello to Caden. And I'm really not going to talk to him because I really don't want to. I just more or less want to examine everything. Fine, I'll talk to Caden. Whatever. I will not be pursuing a relationship with Caden, guys. Just, I think that's fairly obvious, but I'm not. Ever.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at.
Well, I did once. Biggest
I've wasted enough of your time for now,
ever.
Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Tactical appraisal?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship.
Alright,
We'll
apparently...
talk another time, Lieutenant.
Never mind, he's not going to talk to us. The bastard. Oh, well. Let's head down into engineering. Yep. There's an elevator on this ship. How cool is that? I never thought you could say that there's an elevator on a ship, but apparently there is. Better than running up and down a bunch of stairs. No one likes stairs. Stairs are annoying. Stairs are for pussies. We need some elevator music in here. Just saying. My only complaint, elevator music necessary.
Hey, Commander.
This
Looking
guy
for some
will
extra supplies
give
before
you
you head
supplies.
What have you got?
Obviously.
Whatever you want.
No, it's not
Armor,
like he didn't
weapons,
just say
mods.
that to us or anything.
It's not standard
No,
Alliance
no.
issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying.
Pay you?
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap.
This is the guy
Hell,
that
the
we can
licenses
buy
alone have
the
set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods.
okay.
Without the goods,
I'll actually
I'm
just
out
show
of a
you.
job.
Because
Let's see what you got.
it's amazing,
You bet,
and
Commander.
I can't afford it most likely. Right, he can give us some items that would be awesome, but unfortunately we can't afford them. Yay. Never mind, he does not have those items. You have the ability to, however...
Looking for supplies?
Not right now,
bollocks.
thanks.
No problem. Keep checking
Fine.
back.
You can buy licenses that allow him to be able to buy more things, and let's say hello to Rex.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
Personal inquiry.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story.
There has to be. There's always a story.
Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Come on!
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
That's unfortunate.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It isn't?
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic
Yeah,
mutation
Shepard, that's not really nice
an
of you.
infection that makes only a few in a
Just
thousand
saying, I would
children
have more or less been
survive
like,
birth.
yeah, you're probably
And
right,
I suppose
actually.
it's destroying your entire species?
I see your point.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity.
I got bad points with, Rex now. Touchy subject?
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard.
I'm ignorant?
As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us. but it's not what's killing us.
Investigate. Extinction.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in
That
staying
may
in
have
our
something to
own
do with it.
system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want
Which is
to
why,
fight.
if you have any choice of something
So
to
we
pick
leave.
to go into battle with,
Hire ourselves
pick a
out.
Krogan.
And
Krogans,
most of us never go back.
yeah.
What can you tell me
Not
about
only
the
do they have a
Genophage?
redundant nervous system, but they can basically,
Ask
they
the
regenerate
Solarians if you want
and have two
details.
hearts.
They made it.
And
All I know,
look at that.
it makes breeding nearly impossible.
That would make a lesser
Thousands
being
die in stillbirth,
crap
and
themselves.
most never get that far.
If you saw that coming towards you,
Every
charging
Krogan
towards you,
infected.
and basically
Everyone.
going to blow your head
And
off
no
with a
one's
shotgun.
rushing to find a cure.
Yeah.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time
Good
you
point.
saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the Genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
I see.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Shepard.
Right. We can equip our teammates here. We can equip Tali, Rex, and Garrus, and Cade and Ashley. Here's Ashley.
Commander,
How are we doing?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
That we'd saved your unit.
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit.
Yes, ma'am. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
Don't blame yourself.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
They have flashlight heads, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
They're called
Take a few minutes
optics.
to talk, one-on-one.
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duties squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Dismissed, Chief.
Dismiss, Chief.
Ma'am.
Right. And we have my favorite Turian over here. Hold on. Let's inspect the Mako. Hello, Mako. I love you. Anyways, Garrus.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander.
Hello, Garrus.
I knew working with the Spectre would be better
You
than life
knew?
at CSAC.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well,
Well,
no.
no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn
not that
bureaucrats
bad.
are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it.
But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first.
That was your
That's
reason?
why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate me.
It's a tough decision.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
That depends.
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to... I understand, Commander.
You gotta be a little tough with him. He's just starting out, you guys. He's a bit dense when it comes to a few things about... He's impatient. That's hot-headed and impatient. That is one thing you can use to really describe Garrus. Is hot-headed and very impatient. Is she bothering you?
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why
She's
you
useful.
wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Stealth systems.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship
actually a
itself.
very good
No
method
emissions
of
to give away our
stealth
location.
for the Normandy.
Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours
And it makes a lot of
running and
sense.
they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
FTL gives us away?
Why doesn't it work with faster-than-light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the
Personal
only one.
questions.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo. Only a
Tokyo.
cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Normandy.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on. Probably the fastest vessel ever designed. She's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Drive core?
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Goodbye.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Let's talk to Tali.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't
It is
believe
really
you were
pretty.
able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
This ship's special.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
You're into ships?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the get.
That was 300 years ago.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Quarians.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Like what?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a
The
century.
Conclave?
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave
man,
and make
Dr.
decisions
Pepper
that
is
affect the
amazing.
fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
You're democratic?
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Wow. Geth.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Tell me.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true
Which AI
status.
equals bad. Always. Just ask any... Yeah.
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal.
Just in any sci-fi novel whatsoever, AI always
so
equals bad.
that we were able to control them.
So, word of
Or so we
advice,
thought.
just don't use AI
But one thing we
programs.
underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently
A
unstable
neural
matrix.
network?
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more
Hive
of them you
mind.
have in a group, the smarter
Like a
they
hive
are.
mind.
So there's some sort of group consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent
I
thought.
don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Why?
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
They defended themselves.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own
Do Geth
homeworld.
even have hands? Like,
We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exiled, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
Sorry.
I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so worked up. Most Quarians tend to have pretty strong opinions about the Geth.
Investigate. Pilgrimage.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Do they always accept?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Makes sense. Sounds dangerous.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer.
Which is true.
Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Let's change topics.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Which we have nothing else to talk about, so let's just say goodbye.
I should go.
See you later.
Right, we learned a lot about Quarians right there. And as Rex did point out, Quarians talk a lot. Oh well, let's head back up and let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, there's a few more things, a few more people we can talk to. We can go ahead and talk to Dr. Chakawas, I think. And then we'll end it off with talking to Joker. Well, there's a few more things we probably should go around and see. Just for the heck of it. Right, over here. Okay then. This is our personal quarters, I guess you could say. It's got a bed. And we just kind of stand on top of the bed. Look at that, look at that. Doesn't look really comfortable. But, okay. We can replenish our metagel right there. There's Dr. Chakawas. Okay, I was just making sure there's nothing in there. Let's go ahead and talk to Dr. Chakawas.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Personal questions.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted. I wanted to
Never
travel,
mind.
but humanity...
I should go.
Goodbye,
Never mind.
Commander.
We've already talked to Dr. Chakawas as much as we can. Never mind. Guess that just leaves Joker. The cocky pilot who is voiced by Seth Green. Gotta love that, huh? Wait. Why did I get in the elevator? Bollocks. I got in the elevator. I didn't mean to. Activate elevator. Thank you. This is going to be a very short set because this is just going to be like a little introduction to talking to everybody. It'll probably just be one episode for a day. But they'll be cool, so at least I hope. And not really cool, be more or less me talking to everybody. Yeah. But these should only happen after we do story missions. And the longest part of this game is not the story, but actually the side missions. Oh well. Let's say hello to Joker. Joker!
Commander, something you need?
Ship status report.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I just want to talk.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
I didn't mean to insult you.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean...
You didn't know?
You mean you didn't know?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I've got Vrolich syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Tell me about your disease.
I need to know more about this Vrolich syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures. Hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
How do you do your job?
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually.
Let's change topics.
So don't worry about it.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
How'd you get your nickname?
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
That's no answer.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Were you unhappy?
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
How's the Normandy performing?
She's the best ship in the balance is... The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything.
I have to go.
Alright,
right. And that's Joker. And that is pretty much all he'll say for the rest of the game. Yeah. Like, when you go to talk to him, at least. Except after main story missions. What is this? So, yeah. Anyways, this ends the set for now, guys. Sorry it's a really short one, but we just went ahead and investigated the Normandy. It's actually probably just going to be one episode. I will see you guys while we go take on our, side missions. Until then, I will see you all later. I'm NexionLX, and this is Mass Effect. See you later.